Football has given us countless heroes. Every year, one name rises above all others to claim the ultimate individual prize, the Ballon d'Or, the golden trophy that crowns the best player in the world. But to win it at young age, before even reaching your peak, that sign a true greatness. Today we travel through football history to discover the 10 youngest players ever to win the Ballon d'Or. And the number one name on this list will leave you amazed. Our journey begins in 1960 with a footballer many young fans might not know, Luis Suarez Miramontes. Not the famous Uruguayan striker, but a Spanish midfield genius, nicknamed the Architect. At just 25 years and 7 months, he became the first and still the only Spanish-born player to ever win the Ballon d'Or. Back then, Suarez was the heartbeat of Barcelona, orchestrating attacks with unmatched vision and precision. Later, he moved to Inter Milan, where he became the brain behind their legendary Grande Inter era, revolutionizing the role of a playmaker. Luis Suarez was not just a footballer, he was a pioneer, a true trailblazer whose brilliance paved the way for generations to come. His legacy lives on as the man who forever changed the Spanish football history, from Spain midfielder genius to a young forward whose vision and skill would soon redefine the very way football is played. The story now takes us to the Netherlands. From the street of Amsterdam to the greatest stage in Europe, Johan Cruyff was not just a player, he was a football revolution. In 1971, at just 24 years and 8 months, Cruyff became the youngest Dutch Ballon d'Or winner. At the time, a recognition of his genius and influence on the game. He was more than a forward, he was a visionary strategist, the living embodiment of total football, a system where every player could think, act and dominate the pitch with intelligence and fluidity. Cruyff's Ajax side did not just win trophies, they transformed football tactics. His elegance, speed and ability to see plays before anyone else redefined what it meant to control a game. Without him, there would be no tiki-taka Barcelona, no Guardiola's tactics master plans, no modern interpretation of positional play. This Ballon d'Or was not just an award, it was the birth of a philosophy that echoes through generation, inspiring players, coaches and fans a dream bigger, think smarter and play fair. From a Dutch visionary who reshaped the way football is played, we now turn to another young genius whose goals would stun the world and define his generation. 17 years after a Dutch visionary first reshaped the following world, another young talent was ready to leave his mark on history. In 1980, at just 24 years and 1 month, a forward captured the Ballon d'Or following a season of brilliance that stunned fans across Europe. That summer at Europe 88, he produced a goal that would be etched into football lore forever. A volley so perfect, so sublime, that decades later it is still replayed as a symbol of technical perfection. With AC Milan, he dominated Serie A, combining elegance, speed and lethal finishing. He could score from impossible angles, turning matches with a single touch. His movement, timing and composure made him a nightmare for defenders and a dream for fans. Through injuries would later cut his career short. At his peak, he was untouchable, a striker whose game was as artistic as it was devastating, a true embodiment of football's beauty and power. From a striker of poetic brilliance who mesmerized Serie A, the story now shifts to a powerhouse from Africa, whose speed, strength and sheer talent would inspire a continent. Before the brilliance of later stars, the world watched awe as the Black Panther emerged from Mozambique, dazzling fans across Europe. In 1965, at just 23 years and 11 months, he became the first African-born player to win the Ballon d'Or, a milestone that echoed for beyond football. Known for his blistering speed, immense power and a shot that struck like thunder, he terrorized defenders and thrilled spectators alike. For Benfica, he scored over 470 goals, leading the land to Europe glory and inspiring millions across the globe. Eusebio was not merely a footballer, he was a symbol of hope, pride and possibility, proving that talent knows no borders and greatness can come from anywhere. Just as one established a trail across Europe, another was about to explode onto the world stage, combining youth, skill and ambition in a way that would leave fans breathless. Fast forward to 2008, a year when a young winger at Manchester United began his ascent to football immortality. At just 23 years and 9 months, Cristiano Ronaldo was not just a rising star, he was a force of nature. That season, he scored 42 goals across his competitions, led his team to Champions League glory, and dominated the Premier League with breathtaking speed, power, and precision. It was not just statistics. It was the birth of a global phenomenon. Every sprint down the wing, every unstoppable shot, every free kick curve told the story player who was rewriting what it meant to be elite. When he lifted his first Ballon d'Or, the football world took notice. From that moment, his name became synonymous with excellence, dedication, and sheer audacity on the pitch. His legendary rivalry with Lionel Messi would go on to define a generation, captivating fans, breaking records, and inspiring millions around the globe. Ronaldo's 2008 was not merely triumph, it was the beginning of an era where talent, ambition, and determination collided, shaping one of the greatest careers football has ever seen. Rising from the spotlight of global superstardom, a young forward in Eastern Europe would soon ignite his nation's football dreams with speed, skill, and unstoppable ambition. Back in 1975, football existed in a very different world. The Cold War was at its peak and the Soviet Union was far from the global football spotlight. Yet from the unlikely stage, Oleg Blokhin emerged a trailblazer who would break barriers and capture hearts. At just 23 years and 1 month, Blokhin became the first Ukrainian and one of the few Eastern European players to lift the Ballon d'Or, a feat that stunned football fans worldwide. Playing for Dynamo Kyiv, he combined brilliant speed, surgical finishing, and relentless stamina, leaving defenders helpless and spectators in awe. Blocking did not just score goals; he defined a style of forward play that was fearless, daring, and explosive. Every run, every strike carried the weight of a nation yearning for a recognition on the global stage. Even decades later, he remains a legendary Ukrainian football, a symbol of ambition, talent, and the ability to defy expectations. Across Europe, a forward from the Soviet pieces had shattered expectation, but now the spotlight turns to a young talent whose charisma, flair, and genius on the ball would captivate the world. A player whose name would echo far beyond the stadium he graced. Now we arrive at the man many called the greatest talent of his generation, George Best. In 1968, at the only 22 years and 7 months, Best led Manchester United to European glory and became the youngest Ballon d'Or winner of his team. He was unpredictable, dazzling, and unstoppable, a true magician on the pitch. His dribbles were swift, his turns were sharp, and every move seemed effortless, leaving defenders scrambling. Best was more than just a footballer, he was a showman, a rock star in football booth, famously nicknamed the Fifth Beatle. Fans adored him not only for his goals, but for the joy and flair he brought to every match. But with brilliance came tragedy. Best faced personal struggles, and his life was as turbulent as his career was brilliant. Yet despite this challenge, his impact on football remains undeniable. A year after the world witnessed the rise of a new magician emerged, Lionel Messi, a boy from Rosario, whose fate seemed to defy gravity and whose vision reshaped the very essence of the game. In 2009, at just 22 years and 5 months, Messi lifted the first Ballon d'Or, announcing that a new era of football brilliance had begun. That same year, Barcelona achieved a historic treble, conquering La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League, with Messi orchestrating play like a master conductor, dictating the rhythm and flow of every match, scoring 38 goals and providing 17 assists. His dribbling was mesmerizing, his vision unparalleled, and his football intelligence left defenders and fans alike spellbound. Every touch, every run, every pass seemed effortless, yet carried the weight of genius, turning ordinary games into spectacles of artistry. The victory marked not just a personal triumph, but the birth of a destiny, a period of dominance and creativity that would see Messi go on to claim a record 8 Ballon d'Ors, solidifying his place as one of the greatest players in the history of football. Even today, his 2009 season remains a blueprint for excellence,
a testament to what it means to combine talent, discipline, and vision to redefine the beautiful game. After witnessing a magician wave a destiny with his speed and vision, the story now turns to a prodigy from Liverpool, a player whose speed and deadly instinct would electrifying stadiums and announcing him to the world. A teammate sensation from Liverpool was already turning head with his blistering speed, deadly finishing, and uncanny ability to anticipate the game, making defenders feel powerless against his Odysseus. In 2001, at just 22 years and 4 days, Michael Owen became the second youngest Ballon d'Or winner in history, announcing his arrival on the world stage with authority. That year, he propelled Liverpool to a historic travel, winning the FA Cup, League Cup, and UEFA Cup, leaving defenders struggling to keep up with his electrifying pace, intelligent movement, and instinctive finishing. Owen's style was breathtaking, every sprint, every darting run into the box, and every decisive shot reflected a rare combination of raw talent, courage, and football intelligence, capable of turning even the tightest match into a spectacle. At his peak, he could change a game in an instant, thrilling fans and inspiring young players worldwide. Through injuries would later limit his career, Owen remains a symbol of brilliance, a glimpse of footballing genius at its purest, and a player who forever left his mark on Liverpool and the beautiful game. From a teenage speedster who electrified Liverpool with his dazzling dance and deadly finishing, the spotlight now shifting to a young striker whose talent, power, and sheer genius would redefine football itself, setting a new benchmark for greatness at an age when most players are just finding their footing. Finally, we arrive at the youngest Ballon d'Or winner in football history, a name that inspires and reverence across generations. Ronaldo Nazario, simply known as R9. In 1997, only 21 years and 3 months, Ronaldo had already conquered the footballing world, playing for Barcelona. He scored an astonishing 47 goals in 49 games, leaving defenders grasping at shadows and fans spellbound by his speed, skill, and sheer audacity. His brilliance did not stop there. With Inter Milan and the Brazilian national team, he continued to dominate, earning FIFA World Cup Player of the Year in a row, become the youngest ever to do so, a testament to his relentless drive and unrivaled talent. Ronaldo was not just a striker, he was a force of nature, a whirlwind of power, technique, and vision that redefined what it meant to be great. Every spin, feint, and strike carried the mark of a player who could change the course of a game in an instant. Even though injuries later slowed his career, his 1997 Ballon d'Or season remains a symbol of pure footballing magic, a golden chapter in the history of the game, and a reminder of how brilliance can leave the world breathless. From Luis Suarez in 1960 to Ronaldo Nazario in 1997, this player reached the pinnacle of football before most athletes even hit their prime. Some built dynasties, some saw their brilliance cut short by injuries or tragedy, but all of them left a mark that can never be erased. So here the question, who will be the next young superstar to join this legendary list? Will it be Lamine Yamal or someone else? We have not even heard of it. One thing's for sure, football never stops creating new heroes. And maybe, just maybe, the next Ballon d'Or winner is already out there, waiting to shock the world.